Hi, it's Cassie. Welcome to the October Art Journal Adventure Kit. I'm super excited. I can't believe it's already October. We're in month 10 of our club here, and I am just so beyond thrilled, and my heart is exploding with all of your awesome journal pages and the amazing things that you've come up with, and just seeing how you take the prompts throughout the year and really personalize them each into your own sort of thing. And I just want to say before we start that I really appreciate you so much, and you're making all of my dreams come true, and I just love you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me this year. Next year is going to be even better, if that's even possible. I have so many plans for us, and we're just going to keep growing and growing and growing together. So that's my favorite part. So I think we have some really good prompt cards this month, and I'm excited to work on them. I thought we would start with kind of a basic one, but really something that you can take in any kind of direction. We're going to use the color prompt first this month, and we have primary colors. So it says use primary colors to create your journal page. They are red, blue, and yellow. What I would like to say is that while I will probably mainly be focusing on keeping them primary colors, if your red and yellow mix a little and you get a little bit of orange in there, you know, that's great too. I just want you to use the primary colors originally, and you know, if you blend them to make another color, that's fine. Sometimes it's nice to just go back to the basics. You know, I know I do this, and I'm sure a lot of other people do. You feel like you have to have all the colors of things, and you know me, and you know that I have to have all the colors of things. But I just want to say that maybe sometimes you don't. Maybe sometimes if you just get the primaries, you can make your own colors. You can blend them and do other things and make your own. So maybe, you know, do a couple pages with this prompt and challenge yourself to, you know, use the primary colors as primaries and just have red, yellow, blue, or some combination of those. You don't have to do all of them. But then maybe do another page with using just the primary colors to mix into new colors, and see, you know, how you can take your supplies in your stash and extend them out even further. So that's just an idea and an option. Of course, you do whatever feels good for you. So putting the card off to the side, we have this really fun stencil this month called Dewdrops. I hope you like it. I think it's really fun. I went back to 6x6 for this one. I'm going to probably mix them up and do some 4x8 and some 6x6 depending on the design. But I have heard you guys, and you do really like this size and this format. So definitely we'll be having a mix of them. Okay, so there's that. And then you got some collage paper. I think everyone was able to get the entomology. I'm pretty sure I had enough for everyone to get the same one. But maybe you wouldn't buy this on your own because there's bugs on it. But that's kind of why I wanted to get it, because it's not always the first choice for people, but I think it's pretty outstanding. And one of the things I really love about Tim's printed tissue is that you get a really good, let's see, where does it start again? You get a pretty good pull before you start to see repeat. So this is all, you know, its own material here. No repeats in this section, and then of course it repeats over and over again. But look at all of this area. I mean, you've got an awesome butterfly, right? You've got really cool beetles, and you've got is that a moth, I think? And then there's really awesome text, like handwritten and typed, you know, different fonts, different styles. I just think it's amazing, and you can really like tear off a little piece. You could take a big section. You can cover a whole journal page, you know, with this, and then build on top of it. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. And I would say if you're not necessarily a bug person, you're like not about the beetles, I would give them a try anyway, and maybe even do half of one, or put it upside down. Think of it in a different way. Get creative with it. If you do like this, then yay, I'm excited for you. So anyway, I chose this one specifically because I really wanted us to just try something different and new that maybe you wouldn't try on your own. So we have that. and I'm obsessed. I love all of them. I really do. He's got great printed tissue, but I really like that one. Okay, and then we showed that, so I might be using that. And then you got some gilding polish. Now you got one color, and you all got different colors, as I like to do. So if one of your colors is a primary, you are free to use it here today for this prompt. If not, you can use other supplies. If you have your own other gilding polish, I know probably a lot of us have some of it already, but just in case some people didn't have it, I really felt like everybody needs to at least try it because it's useful in so many ways. I have a Catherine Pooler ink pad here in red just because I wanted all the colors represented here. You really could use anything. You could use your water-soluble oil pastels from Prima that we got before. You could use Posca pens. You could use really anything. If you've got some gouache or watercolor or any other ink pad, just use any sort of pigment that you have that is a primary color, which would be red, yellow, and blue. Okay, so let's get started. I only have a couple pages left, so this book will be completed for me this month. Before the end of the month, actually, because I think I have 3 blank pages. I went through it this morning just to see. So pretty soon I'll be in a new book. So anyway, I had this background that was started. Now this is a little bit of like a turquoisey blue, but I'm gonna just go with it. There is mostly blue in here, so I'm gonna use this as a start for my primary background, and you can see it has the shape of one of my other stencils from a previous month. I think, yeah, from the other side it's got that stencil. So we're gonna work with this, and I'm going to just play and do some different things. So the first thing I want to do is use some of this blue. This is called Mediterranean blue, and it's the metallic gilding polish. All right, and I think one of you got this color. I can't remember who. Oh, actually, I have no idea who, because I pack all the boxes and then I put labels on once they're all taped up, and so I don't ever know who gets what. So you have to tell me what you got. So one really cool thing about metallic gilding polish is that it comes with its own sponge. So if you have never used this yet, I think you're in for a real treat. It's going to be a lot of fun for you, I hope. I love this stuff, and I've learned a ton of different ways to use it, and I'll try to show you some of those as we go on the different pages. But just as a way of starting out, and one of the most common ways to use this is to just take the sponge and kind of dab it on the side, and you wipe it off on the side, and I promise you have enough pigment there to get started. So I'm just going to put a little bit, and I'm just kind of twisting. The reason I'm doing that with this stencil is because there's points that can flip up, so I'm twisting so that I keep it from wrecking my stencil. Okay, ooh, I love this. I love how it's smudgy in some spots and a little more crisp in other spots. This is a really beautiful color too. And if you can tell, it's got a really nice shimmer to it. So very, very nice. I'm going to do a little bit more down here in this bottom corner, and then we'll move on to the next step. So I'm just creating a fun background. It's definitely not perfect, very smudgy, but I love the shape. Almost looks like a peacock feather now that I'm looking at it like that. That's pretty cool. I didn't even notice that before. Okay, so we've used the Mediterranean blue and my stencil, and I love it so far. I'm going to lay this flat because it feels a little bit easier to work on this way. Let's use the stencil again. And I do want to use some red, but here's what I want to do. Whoa. Gosh, I love her ink. It is so juicy. It just never stops amazing me at how juicy and awesome it is. Okay, so I'm going to get it wet a little bit just to make like a watercolor type thing. And I'm going to use, I have this little spongy brush thing, excuse me. And let's just dab and see what we get. Or maybe I'm gonna, oh man, this is so bright. It's crazy. So I'm dabbing and then I'm rubbing down or up with the pattern so that it's not like catching on the sponge and causing issues. It's definitely one of those stencils you gotta just be careful with. Okay, just a couple. I don't want it crazy. That's very cool. I think I have to do a few more up here to kind of balance it. This is Rockin' Red, but you can see that up there. Okay, definitely, oh yeah, it's a little bit more watery this time. Okay. So just dabbing here and there. You notice I'm just doing a few of these pieces, not a lot. You definitely can just use part of your stencil. You don't have to use the whole thing. I often use just part. Okay, that's a little bit more messy, but I really like it. I just like having the red and the two spots there. That really adds a good punch of color. Okay, let's see. I think I am going to pick up the rest of this red because I really don't want to waste it. So maybe I'm going to do this. So I've got a blank page here in the back. And I am just going to move this stuff out of the way. I think I'm going to spray it one more time, make it nice and juicy, and I'm just going to smush. Okay. Got to smush some more. Maybe I can smush and pull. There we go. Nice. Oh, that's beautiful. That's going to be a great start to a page, don't you think? And then since I'm still here, or there's still more here, and it's just too pretty to get rid of, I've got a tag here. And it's not even gessoed or anything, but that's okay. I just want to pick up some more, and this will be a good start for a tag. Just a nice red wash. Isn't that pretty? I definitely encourage you to use all your pigment as much as possible. Don't let it go in the trash. Okay. Ooh, I know. I've got this left on here. So wiping this off carefully, I can put this shape right onto the tag. There we go. That's really cool, huh? Okay. So there, we've got a tag that can be used somewhere else. I love when that happens. I think I have like a whole bin of just tags that have been started that are waiting for, you know, the inspiration to strike and just have me finish them. Maybe that should be like a Facebook Live, or like a time we haven't met together to hang out in a while. Maybe I could do something like that, and we just... Do you guys have things that, you know, something like that, like a bucket of backgrounds? Whether it's a tag or just pieces of paper or whatever. It's just nice to have that for later use. But look at, I know this is our page for another day, but man, it's going to be pretty. Okay, now I got to find my other page again. It should be right around here. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're going to flatten back out. I'll move this out of the way. Okay, so now we've used blue and red, and before we do anything with yellow, I've got this, we're going to use the Bright Sunshine metallic gilding polish. So Jan's going to be super excited, and I'm excited because it's very bright and cheerful. I think I want to use some of this, and honestly, let's see, I think I'm going to pull it off here. I'm going to take off a big chunk, but I'm probably not going to use all of that. I just want to be able to pull bits off that I like. And I'm going to show you some really easy ways to use this tissue if you haven't used it before, to make it easy to work with. Okay, so first of all, I know that I kind of want this to be my focal point. Okay, so hold on, I just had a thought. Okay, I'm actually going to cut out both of the wings because I have an idea. I do want that to be my focal point, but I also want this to be sort of prominent in the background. So I'm cutting out these butterfly, this like half a butterfly wing, and I think it's going to go down here or something like that. And then I've got this moth here, and I'm really not being super careful. I'm just kind of cutting around it. You don't have to be super fussy about cutting perfectly on the tissue paper, because hopefully most of it is just going to blend in the background, and this is just getting you most of the way there. So I'm going to play with my layout a little bit, but I think I like him here actually because there's no pattern in the background, so he's going to stand out better. And what if I put these wings upside down there? Look at that. That's a nice balance there, don't you think? And then, honestly, I just want to take the rest of this. I don't know if I want this because that feels like too much stealing the spotlight a little bit because it's so bold. But I just want like strips. So I'm going to put like a piece here, and I kind of just lay them out, see what feels good. You know what? I think I want this to be like kind of behind that guy. Okay. And then I don't want another bug because I really want the focus to be this guy, but I do want more stuff going on. So I think I really like this. So maybe I'm going to do something like that. That looks pretty good to me. It's got some good movement to it. We've got a focal point. So that's that. Okay, so now, okay, this is one of those things that I really think you should have, but I haven't put in your kit yet because it's a little bit pricey and it would be like more than half of your kit. So I haven't done it yet. I really, really think that you should get some though, especially if you're going to do any collaging stuff like this. It's really awesome. There's other things you can use too, definitely. You can use gel, matte medium. You can use Mod Podge if you have that. You can use Yes Paste. You know, there's lots of different things like that you can use. But if you have the option or the ability to get this, either this is the gloss version, there's also a matte version. They're both great. It's a really fantastic product. The only thing that I'll tell you right away is that it is important because it's glue and it's coming out of a nozzle, right? So as you might guess, if you don't clean off your nozzle after you use it and put the lid back on, it will eventually dry out and you will not be able to recover it. I've tried. I tried heating it. I tried boiling it in water to like melt the glue in there, and you just will have to get a new nozzle. So, but I will say that I've had a bottle of this for like 2 years that I wiped off just the end of the nozzle, put the cap back on it every single time, and I've never had a problem with it. So I would definitely 100% recommend this Mod Podge Ultra spray. It is fantastic for doing stuff like this. So that's my plug for that, and that's the reason why I haven't bought it for you yet, because of the cost. And it's not super expensive, but it's enough. You know, I have a limited budget for what I can put in your kit, and it's enough that it would, you know, it would take away from some of the other fun supplies that I want to get for you. So that's the story there. All right, but I definitely think that you need to have it in your life. Okay, you see it's making that color move too, so that's just something to be aware of. So just make sure you don't put a lot down. Or if you're working with something like that and you really don't want that to happen, then use something else for sure. Okay, and I'm using my finger to move this around, which is fine, but you also, you know, just be careful because tissue is delicate and it can rip, and I meant to put this behind there, didn't I? Shoot. Now once you've got it wet and put it down, I don't recommend lifting it like this. I'm being super double extra careful. But just really, really, really be careful if you have to do anything like that, because you do not want it to tear. Unless you want it to tear. Sometimes I want it to tear, and that looks really cool, and it's an interesting effect. So if that's what you're after, then by all means do that. Okay, so this is looking pretty good so far. All right. to move this up here. And then you'll see when it dries too, it just really gives your page just a really cool effect. The other tip that I'm going to give you, if no matter what you're using, whether you have this spray or you're using a gel medium or whatever, any kind of adhesive that you're using to put down this tissue, definitely get your glue all underneath, then put your tissue down, then glue over the top. The reason is, if you don't get your glue all underneath, there will be some spots sometimes that don't fully sort of become translucent, you know, and you'll see the white paper, and it just doesn't bond as well to the paper and become like part of it. You know what I mean? So that's my tip for if that happens to you. That's probably what happened, is that you didn't put enough adhesive underneath to to help it disappear. Yeah, it's really important to be so careful in this step if you don't want your tissue to rip. Cassie, what are you doing? I just keep making it move here. Okay, I need some, it's dry right there. You notice I'm putting a lot of this stuff on, and I will probably need to dry this with the heat gun after, but it's worth it. I'm telling you, it's worth it. Take your time, put a lot of adhesive down, put a little bit over the top, just kind of move it around. Okay. All right, that looks good to me. Whew, I'm loving this page already. Okay, so now I'm gonna, first I'm gonna take my wet wipe or a paper towel or whatever you have. I'm really gonna wipe down this nozzle, okay, and I'm gonna put my lid on. Make sure it snaps shut, and you're good to go. And that will last you for as long as it takes for you to use it up, which is a long time. Like I said, I use this a lot, and I had one of these larger bottles, this is 8 ounces, for like 2 years, and I still have some left. So anyway, okay. So now I'm going to dry this, and we'll add some yellow and do our finishing touches. Okay, now that this is dry, check this out. Oh, I'm just loving this page. Excuse me. So I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. I think it's going to help brighten it up. Woo! A little bit. That almost fell right out of my fingers there. Yeah, so just going to add a little bit, but I'm going to use it in a slightly different way than maybe you're used to. So actually, I'm not going to use that sponge at all. I'm going to use a paintbrush instead. Okay, so first, let's put a little bit of this. I'm just grabbing it with my paintbrush. It is sometimes easier to grab with like a palette knife or something, but whatever works. And then we're just gonna spritz some water in here and just loosen it up. It's just a pigment, you know, it's been had binders and different things added to it to make it the consistency that it is, so you can use it in a way that's different, but you can always add water and or gel medium, or you could mix this in with any of your modeling paste or anything like that to change the color of it and run it through a stencil. I mean, there's lots of ways you can use this stuff, so really I challenge you to kind of play with it and try to think of ways to use it that are outside the box a little bit. Leave that sponge in the lid and, you know, try to find some other ways to use it. So, okay, so I'm just going to go over the wings. I'm doing it over instead of under. You could have done under too, and that would be really pretty. But I really wanted the shimmer to stand out. I think that's pretty cool. And then, so you can paint with it like I just did there, and you can do that all over the place, anywhere you want. Now I'm thinning it out even more because I kind of want to splatter. Ooh, yeah. And I just want to splatter like around our moth guy. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think that's fantastic. Okay, I'm done. I made a huge mess, so that's awesome. So, so now, really honestly, I'm just going to dry this, and I'm actually going to let it dry overnight before I would add any sort of like doodles or whatever. That's always comes at the end of my book. But here you can see close up some of that yellow. And look at that shimmer in the yellow. Oh, gorgeous. So there's my primary page all done. I am actually going to, I'm going to dry this, and then I'm going to lift up the rest of this yellow on that one red page so that we can use it for another prompt. And I really think it's going to be pretty outstanding. I just want a little bit more yellow on the wings here. Oh, super cool. Okay. So let me dry this, and then I'll show you how I add it to the other page. And then I just want to show you really quick before it, or since it's dried, can you see the shimmer in that yellow once it's dry? It's like a goldish yellow. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. So this page is amazing. I am totally in love with it. All right, so I'm going to go back to the last page here really quick, and I'm going to smudge. I like this shape of this brush, so I'm just doing that shape here and there for fun. Okay, and then we will put quite a bit more water in this so it moves around a bit, and then we'll just smush this yellow in there. Oh, nice. And I think it's going to make some orange, which is going to be awesome. We'll have a nice fiery page. I wonder what we'll use this for. Oh, I think that's fantastic. So we're going to go with it. Ooh, where's my tag? Let's pick up a little bit more with the tag. We've got a pretty awesome tag started here. This could be like a nice fall tag, you know. Add some, maybe some purple and some gold or something in here. Put some leaves or something on it. I mean, we're almost done with that tag. And it's just sort of an extra. One of my favorite things to do there. Okay, so there we have it. There is just go back here. We've got our primary colors prompt all done. We used all 3 primary colors and kept them pretty intact. And then I can't wait to see what you do with this. And also I'd like to see if you decide to mix your primaries to make your own versions of other colors. So I think that would be really awesome as well. And then here's our bonus page that is going to be used on another prompt. So thank you so much for hanging out. I hope that you enjoyed this prompt. I can't wait to see your pages as always. I hope you have a very wonderful day. Bye-bye.